Hello. Our presentation is on the genetic properties of sickle cell anemia. I'm Mercati Livingston.
I'm Alana Grisham.
I'm Monica Legal.
And we're from the Bio 115 class, Section 1, Group 1. Introduction to red blood cells. Red blood cells, also known as erythrocytes, are the most common type of cell in the vertebral animal's body. They are the main means of transporting oxygen throughout the body. Red blood cells are shaped as biconcave discs. This means that they are concave on both sides, with the narrowest point being in the center. The average diameter of a red blood cell is 7.8 micrometers, while the average width of a red blood cell is 2 micrometers. Any disruption to the size or shape of a red blood cell can affect its ability to carry oxygen throughout the body. Introduction to DNA. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is the hereditary material that exists in humans and animals. Most DNA is located in the nucleus of a cell, while other forms of DNA can be located in the mitochondria of a cell. DNA contains the basic and complex instructions for a cell's form and function. These instructions include how the cell runs, how it reproduces, how it builds and repairs itself. The genetic difference between normal red blood cells and pathological or abnormal red blood cells. Normal red blood cells are shaped, as I said before, as a biconcave disc. Normal red blood cells do not have any problems or genetic mutations that can affect its ability to carry oxygen throughout the body. Pathologic or abnormal red blood cells are often sickle or crescent moon-shaped due to a genetic mutation where proteins do not bind correctly together, and this causes the cell membrane to become misshapen. This often affects the way that oxygen is carried throughout the body, which can lead to a host of complications.
How sickle cell affects functions and or physiology of the red blood cell. Hemoglobin is the protein carrying oxygen transport inside of the red blood cell. Because of the abnormalities of the sickle cell shape and function, the way that the sickle cell moves throughout the blood vessels allows for ineffective transport of oxygen throughout the blood vessels. This causes clots and a lot of sticking to the blood vessels, as we'll see in the next slide. So the structural difference between the red blood cell and the sickle cell. As you can see here, the normal red blood cells are circular and flexible, allowing for free and fast, effective movement throughout the blood vessels. Because of the concave shape of the sickle cells, a lot of sticking happens, as you can see here in the blood vessel, which causes clots and heart complications, usually leading up to heart attacks and strokes. Inheritance. Both parents are carriers, so there must be a sickle cell trait in each parent. The disease carried on a trait from each parent is from the chromosome 11 on the mutation gene.
As Monica just pointed out, in order for the gene to be passed down, a parent has to have it. And the sickle cell anemia is a recessive trait and is characterized by HBS. So as you can see in this Punnett square, we're going to take a scenario where both parents have the sickle cell anemia trait, which doesn't mean they have sickle cell anemia. It just means that they carry the recessive gene along with the normal gene. So both parents have the trait, and when the chances of their offspring of having sickle cell anemia is seen like this. There's a 1 in 4 chance of their offspring having sickle cell anemia because of the SS, which means both recessive genes. As you see, we have 2 SAs, which means that there is a 50% chance that their offspring will have the sickle cell anemia trait like their parents. And also here we have an AA, which means that there is a 1 in 4 chance that their offspring will not have sickle cell anemia at all. In regards to the SAs, that that is the sickle cell anemia trait, which varies from sickle cell anemia, because the SA trait means that only 1/4 of the person's hemoglobin is sickle cell, whereas 3/4 of their hemoglobin is normal. In order for a person to have sickle cell anemia, 100% of their hemoglobin has to be sickle cells. So in conclusion, we have looked at normal red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout the body, and the disease that affects normal red blood cells is called sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia causes these red blood cells to change shape into a crescent form, and because of this change in shape, they tend to stick to the blood vessel walls, causing clotting, which can lead to heart attacks and strokes. Sickle cell anemia is most commonly seen in countries with a high presence of malaria, which is why sickle cell anemia is really present in people of African descent, because malaria runs through Africa. And sadly, there is no cure for sickle cell anemia, although with hope and a lot of research, we hope to find a cure one day. Thank you.